Battle of the Rings. All right, here's the question. Do you think Diddy? We don't got to stay here and have mad conversation.
Do you think Diddy what?
Is he getting off or not?
Getting off on
that's
what?
crazy. We can't say Diddy getting off ever in life. That's my bad. I had to pause myself.
At least you learned it and you catching yourself. You be saying a lot of flagrant shit.
I apologize to the people. Do we think he will be found
not guilty
or not guilty? What do you think? You think he'll be found not guilty or guilty? What we think?
I don't want to see nobody go to jail, man. I hope that man get off, but Diddy bugging out. You hear me?
That boy is.
Diddy was
I don't see where they gonna get racketeering. They might get sex trafficking. They ain't gonna get racketeering.
I don't think. I'm with you. I don't think the charge matches the. I don't think the charge matches the facts.
My thing is,
we are not. I apologize. I just want to preface
he
this
ain't
by
doing
saying
nothing illegal.
we ain't lawyers like a motherfucker.
He not doing nothing illegal other than paying escorts to come from
that.
this place to that place. No, I'm saying like that's.
Say that.
What is he doing illegal?
You can't.
That man football kick shorty, man.
But you are about
but that's not even one of his charges.
You about to make this.
That's not even one of his charges.
Don't say what he said. Don't listen. What you can't say. I can't allow you to be on here saying that.
Not doing nothing illegal.
Exactly. That's not true.
I'm talking about of the charges that he got. He's not doing nothing.
That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
They talking about sex trafficking. All right, I'll pay the escort to fly from here to here, but I didn't pay her to fly from here for sex. I paid her for the entertainment, and then it turned into that. And it was consensual. I'm not raping bitches. I'm not drugging nobody. I'm not doing nothing extra. Everything that everybody is doing, they doing it of their own volition. I'm not making nobody do nothing.
I feel you. All I'm saying is we can't. Here's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
Diddy is a freak. If you gonna prosecute the nigga for that, then he guilty.
Go ahead.
He different.
Yeah, he different.
He definitely is.
I don't.
He's not on trial for beating up Cassie in front of the elevator. He's not on trial for that.
That's one thing to say they don't have the charges don't match, but to say he ain't doing nothing illegal is irresponsible.
You're right. You got that. I'm saying he not being charged with that though.
Technically by law.
So your question is he going to get off with the charges he got now? I don't see that shit sticking. He going to get time served, put on probation, and they're going to tell that nigga to chill.
Copy. I think he's going. I don't think he's going to. I don't think they're going to allow him to get off scot free. Do I think he's going to?
It ain't scot free. The nigga been locked up for months, nigga.
Do I think he's going to get a light sentence? Yes, I think he might get a nice 3-something time served. He might do a year and a half from home with like 10 years, 15 years probation.
He gonna get time served.
Well, that's crazy because the stipulation is going to be crazy on that probation. Like, it's going to be crazy, boy.
So let me ask this question.
They couldn't get Thug, and that nigga jacket was way crazy.
Thug played himself, though.
Way crazier.
Played
he
himself.
He shouldn't have took it because he was out. Because
everybody else beat the case.
That's what I said. Everybody else was on that.
If they couldn't get that nigga on all the shit they had, they ain't getting Diddy on none of that.
Time out. But that's why I think they're going to get Diddy. They ain't going to let this nigga just walk. They're not going to have two celebrities be on this high profile of a case. This is how I feel.
They have less on Diddy than they did on Thug.
True, but call me conspiracy theorist if you want. I just feel like we don't ever see them allow two niggas get off like that.
If you think Diddy gonna let them niggas do him like that,
within 2 years,
not even that,
two
bro.
big time names.
And then the other thing I'm trying to say is, like I said, I agree. I don't think the charge matches or nothing like that. But
they're not gonna get that.
Let me ask this question.
You gotta find the right words and shit.
I'm dead ass too.
He got to word the right way, like yo.
That's what I want to ask.
Because he don't want to get canceled. I told this nigga. So I leave this shit alone.
Nah, we ain't leaving nothing alone. We gonna have this conversation.
Yeah.
One, let me ask this question.
Go ahead.
We have to have a conversation about age. Okay.
Did he not fucking no underage bitches?
I would say that too. Now, hear me out. I don't even want to go that route.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
The route that I would like to go to is this. At what point we can't pick and choose when 19 is too young and naive to make decisions that could alter your life, and then pick and choose when it's not. Feel me?
What's your premise?
So
where's this coming from?
My premise is coming from, and let me preface this by saying this. One, yes, there is valid things that Diddy has done that is clearly illegal and obviously out of my morals, things that I don't condone. He ain't just a freak ass boy. With that being said, this is facts. With that being said, though, right? We can't keep. At some point, we have to start realizing or figuring out what age are we as a society going to deem people to be able to be held accountable for certain things. Maybe I'm going extreme. I'm going to give you a scenario.
Whose age is in question?
I'm going to say this right now. Most people right now would state that Cassie at 19, 20, 21, 22, was too naive and was being groomed and doing things against her will and her being able to choose to do certain things.
Against her will? Nah.
That's what they're saying. Let me finish. I'm just giving you the
She was
preface.
with the shits.
And they say that by saying Diddy had such a age gap on her, right? That she was naive to what was going on. And I'm not naive enough to sit here and say that power dynamics might not be at play, right? But at the same time, and maybe I'm going extreme, y'all check me if I'm wrong. On one hand, you could say that the young lady at 19, 20, 21, and 22 is too naive to make decisions or choose decisions that may alter her life.
Nah, ain't no
But then on the-
22-year-old too naive to make
But
decisions.
then on the flip side of that, you could charge 16-year-olds as adults and hold them accountable
Ain't
for
no
choices they made, and they're not even close to being as developed
Ain't
as a
no
19-year-old would be.
22-year-old too naive to understand anything.
I would
Ain't
agree.
no 22-year-old.
110%.
No able-minded 22-year-old, I say.
So I guess you're already beating me to the punch, and I'm gonna let you fly. At what point as society do we gotta address what we deem? Do you feel as a society we're picking and choosing when age is appropriate to be saying they're helpless or they know what the fuck they doing? I guess that's
I feel like it goes more. It's more than age. Society itself is just built to protect females. So, like you said, a 16-year-old male could do something and he'll get tried as an adult. But for a female, 22 years old, you're still young, you're still naive, you're still learning. Nah, it's just they're trying to protect females. Because if you 22 years old, bitch, you grown. It ain't you gonna learn some stuff and you gonna develop and keep going. But at 22, you fucking grown. So you can't say somebody you naive or you didn't know or you was being no. You made decisions. They could have been bad decisions, but you still made conscious decisions to do dumb shit.
But check it out, right? And this is society. Society says at 18, you're a grown adult.
You grown. So
That's
22,
society, bro.
That's what
you
society
grown.
would say.
Yeah.
And the law would say.
You grown.
Yeah, the law. That's what I'm saying.
And to be real
Society
with you,
and
what's
the law.
even more weird is that in certain states, the age of consent is even lower than that.
Yeah, which is
What state?
crazy.
Hold on now, because I ain't know that.
Yo,
I thought it was
crazy.
17 across the board.
Bro, in tech,
It's 17 across the board. It don't get
if I
lower than
could be
that.
mistaken, so if I'm mistaken, I'll check my facts. But there was a state, I believe it was Texas. I could be wrong, but they just outlawed the ability to be able to have a parent sign off on a 14-year-old being married at the age that she wanted to. I'll figure out what state. I swear to God. That state, it had to be within the last couple years. I promise you. I watched it.
I
I'll
know
send it to you.
sexually consenting is 17 across the board, man.
Not really though. It's 17 here. It's
17.
18 in other states. That's what I'm saying to you. Niggas is picking and choosing where they.
Nah, federally it's
Federally, it's 18.
No, it's 17.
That's fucking crazy.
It's 17.
Yes.
But you're right. I think, and I think as a society, we have to start figuring out what it is. And then you got scientists that'll tell you a man's brain ain't fucking fully developed till 26. Like at some point, y'all got to figure out and pick and choose what we are going to consider age, so that it's easy to go into court or easy to fall into these situations and figure out what the fuck we gonna hold people accountable for or not. Because ultimately, on top of that, when you read some of the transcripts, and I am not here defending this nigga. What I am saying to you is obviously he is weird. He has done things that are illegal, and for whatever he got caught for doing, it is what it is, right?
The boy, wow.
What I will say is though two things can be true. That can be true. And then on the flip side, I can see an argument where shit just don't make no fucking sense. So
At one point, she gotta take accountability for her part in
and
what's going
when
down.
you are deliberately making actions, when you are choosing to, and I get it, domestic violence, people are going to return, sometimes Stockholm Syndrome, everything that they say. But at the same time, there's a thin line between that and then a girl making a choice to want to be with a man that she is saying now put her through torture and pain. But then just as soon as 5 years ago was texting him like he missed him, cheated on the husband that you left with in order to go back with. Now, I'm not saying that justifies him whooping your ass at any time. I'm not saying that justifies if he wanted to have sex with you at some point and you said no and he continued, he was dead ass wrong for doing so. But what I am saying is you can't also argue or be mad at a world where motherfuckers is looking at you like, this don't seem as bad as it's been painted to be seen. That's all I'm gonna finish with. Anything else by anybody?